Okay, so now we can move on to the second bullet point of task one. Because we've set up our arrays. We're going to allow a customer to choose one case, one RAM, and one main hard disk. So let's just do that. And obviously that's just going to be 3 inputs. So let's go back to the code. One case, let's let them pick a case first. Now we don't have to put this in a loop or anything, so we just need to, effectively the algorithm is print some kind of message to the customer. So actually what we could do is we could have like a welcome message to our computer system. So we could say, welcome to Computers Are Us. Please proceed, or something like that. I mean, you can put anything you like, it doesn't matter. I quite like to just have a little welcome message there, and I'm just going to actually just add a few little sort of asterisks. I like to add a few of those just to make it kind of look a bit, you know, sort of standing outy. Okay, so that's my welcome message, and we need to say to them, please select a case. That's what I'm doing first, isn't it? Please select a case. Where's my, there it is. Yeah, case first. So, print, please select a case. Now, how do they know what case to pick? Well, they don't know what cases we've got, so we need to print them out. And that's what we need to do first. So we need to print out the part of the, basically this here, this part of the table here, the 2 cases, the compact, the tower, and list the price as well. Okay. Now there's a number of different ways you could do this. You could hard code the value, hard code the index to say just print out index 0, index 1. Or you could print out where the category is case. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that's a slightly neater way, which is why I wanted to have that category. So let's do that. And we're going to print. We are going to print. Actually, we're not going to print. What we're going to do is we're going to do a for loop. And we're going to print in the arrays index number 0 and 1. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. For index in range. And like I said, there's a number of ways you could do this. I'm just trying to think, which is the best way to do this? Yeah, probably this way, I think. So for index in range, and it will be 0 to 1. Because we're only going to print out the cases. So we're going to do print, category, index, and then we're going to print item code, index, and then we're going to print, oh, missed out my bracket there. Then we're going to print description, index, and then we're going to print price, index. So this should print out just everything for the first 2 items. So let's just check that. Oh, it doesn't like that. What doesn't it not like? It doesn't like category index. Why does it not like that? Oh, that's so silly. Yeah, no, that should be all right. What I've done is I've used, the reason why it doesn't like that is because I've used curvy brackets, a classic mistake first early on, and I should have used square brackets. So I'm just going to change all of those. That's a really silly basic mistake to make. Sorry about that. But as you can see, I'm doing this after a long summer break of not doing anything coding for 6 weeks. So that's my excuse. Okay, so let's run that again and just check that that works. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so it's only picked out the first one. So we need to do 0 to 1, we'd actually need to do 0 to 2. So lots of errors there, sorry about that. So just change that to 0 to 2, and then that should work. Yeah, that has worked. You can't quite see that. There we go. Now it's printed everything out on different lines. So actually that's not very good layout. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it so that actually all of this is one print statement, so that it's all on one line. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of these and put them in all one print statement. And you might have to sort of faff around with stuff like this. Put a comma in between. Let's see if that looks better. Invalid syntax, doesn't like my last one there. What does it not like there? I've left a curly bracket there, doesn't like that one. If you could see that, I left that curly bracket. So I'm just going to delete that and it will work then. There we go. So you can see as well, I know I keep saying this to all my students, is that I do make mistakes still, even after decades of programming, and it's absolutely fine to make mistakes. So don't worry about that. So there we go. There is our printout to say, please select a case. So that looks good. And what are we going to let them pick? Well, are we going to let them pick A1, A2 maybe? I think we should use the code actually. I think we are going to use that. So the next thing to do, just pause there, make sure that yours works like mine, and that you know, if you've got any errors, just double check it against my code here so that you can see you know, if you've got anything wrong. So once you've paused the video and you've checked that everything's okay, we can then move on to actually getting the input of what case they are going to want. So we're going to use input for that, and we need a variable to store what they want. So we could call it case choice or something like that. Don't call it case because we've got, oh no, we could call it case actually. Case equals input, and then it's going to be, just going to put a prompt there like that. We don't need to put any other text because we've printed everything out. And that's that. Hopefully they're going to enter A1 or A2. Now I'm not going to put any error checking around at the moment. We can add that afterwards. What I do tend to do is add all the error checking later on. And the reason for that is, although the pre-release says make sure you use error messages, etc., I've never seen them ask about that in the exam. So what I like to do is just get the very basic, assume that the customer's going to enter the right data to start with, and then we can add stuff afterwards. But it does tend to get in the way of learning the basic algorithm. Okay, so that will store what they enter, but we need to add that to their order. So the whole point of this is that they're placing an order, and it doesn't say that explicitly. It doesn't say store the customer's order. It just says store what they choose. Store and output the chosen items into the, you know, that they've got. So what we need to do is we will need to add this all to an order, and it will be an array. Okay, so their order is going to be an array. So I'm going to create that, and I'm going to create it with nothing in it because it needs to be blank. Okay. So then what we can do is we can add that case in a minute. Well, no, we'll do it now actually. We'll add the case that they've chosen into that order. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to find what they've chosen. Is it index 0 or is it index 1? And we're going to then populate our order with the details that they've entered. Now, the way that this works is actually a bit like a till receipt. So those of you who did the summer 2020 pre-release will know that actually we need a separate array, not only to store the order, but also the order price. So if you think about a till receipt, if you go into a supermarket and the receipt that you get given, it will have a description of what you've bought and then a separate column for the price. And that's effectively what we're doing. This array here is going to be our order, and this is going to be our order price, each one a separate column. So just think about arrays as a column. Okay, so the first thing we need to do then is find which one they've entered. So we need to find out the index of what they have selected. Is it 0 or is it 1? Now, we can do that by using a function called index on an array. So let's do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say case index equals, and then I'm going to do item code dot index, and this will tell us what they have selected. Okay, the case. So basically it's going to say if they enter A1, it will then go to this item code array, find A1, and then tell us the position of that in the array. So let me go over that again. It will go to the whatever they've entered here, A1 or A2. This code here will go to this array and say, have they entered A1 or A2? It will find what they've entered and then return the position. So 0, this one's 0, this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that is what we're going to do to populate our order. So we're basically going to then use that index to say we need to work out all the other details so that we can populate our receipt effectively in our order. So basically what we can do is we can say order dot append, because we're going to add to our order, and we're going to append to that, we can just append to that case because we know it's a case, we don't have to do anything else. So I'm going to do that by hand, and then I'm going to add on, and it's a plus because we're adding it on as a, just put a space there, it's text basically. Then we're going to add description, and then the case index, and then we're going to add on, we're not going to add on the price because the price goes into the separate one, so that should add in the description. And then I'm going to add the order price dot append, and that's going to be price open brackets case index. Okay, so I'm going to check this, and the way I'm going to check it is I'm going to print it out. So I'm going to print out order, and then I'm going to print out order price. Okay, and let's see if this works. Hopefully it will. Okay, but remember, just pause there, pause the video, just to check that you've got this right. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and let's see if it works. So I'm going to select, I'll pick A1 first. I'm going to pick a compact case, and there we go. Yeah, good. So it has picked it. Oh, I like it when it works first time. We've got case compact because I selected A1, and it's $75 as well. So that's good. So let's just double check that it works for the second one as well, just in case. So I'll run it again. It's always a good idea to test everything. So I'm going to run A2, and that's the tower case 150. Good. I'm really happy with that.